York, and Kelsey Plum blows the lid off the joint, letting us all in on a small secret. Team Clark, they had no idea what was awaiting them walking into that locker room come WNBA All-Star.
The WNBA's internal drama has spilled out into the open. What should have been a show of unity quickly turned into controversy when Las Vegas Aces guard Kelsey Plum took aim at Caitlin Clark during a live broadcast. Clark wasn't present to answer back, but her strongest supporter was. Sabrina Ionescu's cold, five-word response to Plum exposed everything: the underlying jealousy, tension between veterans and newcomers, and the toxic atmosphere that could derail the league's biggest opportunity. This wasn't just a tense media session. It was the breaking point where the long-brewing feud finally burst into full public view.
We didn't, at least as players, we didn't know that was going to happen. So I think it was kind of like a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for, and, not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present.
Kelsey Plum was at the All-Star game in Indianapolis. She made quite a scene, bruh. This time, at the conclusion of the game, I was one of the first people to break the story about her actually making comments about Caitlin Clark's team not being at this meeting for the CBA negotiations. Now, we know the WNBA All-Stars came out with these t-shirts. Pay us what.
Everything was arranged to send a clear signal of unity as the WNBA's rising stars stepped onto the court. They all wore striking black shirts carrying a simple but forceful demand: pay us what you owe us. This wasn't a random choice. It was a carefully planned show of strength ahead of the looming, highly profitable collective bargaining talks. The message was aimed squarely at the league's owners, TV partners, and the world at large. The players are united and ready to claim their fair share of the sport's fast-growing revenue.
McKay, Women's National Basketball Players Association President. Brianna Stewart, Vice President. And Nafisa Collier. All on opposing teams from Team Clark. How does it work out that the three biggest players in the Players Association had an idea about wearing a pay us what you owe us t-shirt, make this decision last minute that this is what the players will do? Team Clark somehow isn't present in the...
But that carefully staged image of unity didn't last long. In the post-game press conference, Kelsey Plum was asked about the protest. At first, she talked about the team meeting earlier that morning where the idea was agreed upon. Then, her tone shifted. With a sly smile, she leaned closer to the MAC and delivered a comment nobody was expecting: not to tattletale. And, as always, those words led straight to tattling. She pointed out that not a single player from Team Clark had shown up for the demonstration. The room, buzzing with post-game energy just moments earlier, fell completely silent. What had been a strong, unified stand now felt like an open wound. In just one passive-aggressive sentence, Plum managed to turn a powerful collective statement into a public display of division and pettiness.
It was kind of like a genuine surprise, but the t-shirt, just united front was determined this morning, that we had a meeting for, and not to tattletale, but 0 members of Team Clark were very present for that. But no, we were just we had a very
The moment Plum's words landed, the camera didn't need to search for a reaction. Sabrina Ionescu, Team Clark's captain and one of the league's strongest voices, said it all without raising her voice. Shock flashed across her face, quickly replaced by an eye roll that spoke volumes about how unprofessional and unnecessary the jab was. After a tense pause, she leaned forward and delivered a brief, icy remark that instantly put Plum in check on live TV, defending her teammates and the standard of professionalism Plum had crossed. That sharp exchange turned into a silent statement that some lines, no matter the rivalry, shouldn't be crossed.
WNBA players, they get more unlikable every day. And the blatant jealousy, the blatant hatred towards Caitlin Clark is, it's obvious. They don't even try to hide it. We got Kelsey Plum talking about these pathetic shirts that they wore out onto the court. And I'm going to tell you, these players all put these shirts on, and like I said in a couple of previous videos, that backfired.
Going on. Caitlin Clark, she was officially ruled out before all of these things, and look at the news that dropped. This is wild. WNBA All-Star Weekend is supposed to be the star of all stars. All the big dogs is out. Asia Wilson, Sabrina Ionescu, Brianna Stewart, everybody's out. The big dogs are out. You got the rookie, you got Angel Reese, Miss Me Too. All of the stars are here. And look at this news. The get-in price for the WNBA All-Star Game in Indianapolis has dropped 48% from $121 to just $64 after news broke that Caitlin Clark won't.
Plum's remark was framed to make it seem as though Team Clark, and Caitlin Clark herself, had deliberately ignored a players' solidarity meeting, painting them as selfish and detached from the cause. In reality, Clark had been ruled out of the All-Star weekend long before due to a groin injury, a widely reported absence that left her recovering at home, not skipping by choice. By twisting that context into a narrative of boycott, Plum's words came off less as competitive banter and more as a calculated attack on someone who wasn't even present to respond, especially given that key union leaders were on the opposing team, making the jab feel politically loaded and deliberate.
Look at that. Prices for the WNBA All-Star Game have plummeted 49% after Caitlin Clark was ruled out due to injury, per TickPick. I can't say that I'm surprised by this at all. I mean, no matter how much you love her or hate her, Caitlin Clark is the face of the WNBA. When she goes, the ratings go. Simply put.
Last and latest being this viral Kelsey Plum dig, if you will. And I was in the room for this. It did strike me as very odd in the moment when she said what she said. I wrote it off as kind of awkward, but let me play it for you again, and then I'll respond after the fact. This is what Kelsey Plum said about the t-shirts, and you can, Sabrina Ionescu's.
If you want to see who really drives the WNBA, just look at the ticket sales. The moment Caitlin Clark was ruled out of the All-Star Game, prices for the league's biggest event didn't just slip. They crashed, dropping nearly 50% in a single day from around $121 to barely $64, with some seats going for $60 on resale. It was a loud, undeniable signal from the market that fans weren't just buying tickets for an all-star showcase. They were buying them to watch Clark, and without her, the demand almost vanished overnight.
I thought that was a little dig at Caitlin. A lot of people definitely thought so. Now, we know Caitlin Clark is a Nike athlete. She's with Nike. And guess who had to pull up to the Nike party? None other than Sabrina Ionescu. None other than Kelsey Plum. My bad, y'all. None other than Kelsey Plum, bruh. Caitlin Clark commented on her picture. Thank you for the Nike ad.
If empty seats and falling ticket prices in Indianapolis were just an early warning, the TV ratings drove the point home even harder, showing that the league's audience is now heavily dependent on one 22-year-old rookie, Caitlin Clark.
Lost money last year. It's lost money for what, 28 years now? 27 years? 26 years? However long, it ain't never turned a profit. Again, they're about to make more money. They are. The media rights deal, which is where all the money is about to push salaries higher. All right? I think what a lot of people really are sick of is they're sick of the activism part of it, which is what the other night was. Let's go out and show solidarity in protest kind of crap. And sports fans are like, oh, I'm here for the freaking All-Star game. If you want to.
National broadcasts without Caitlin Clark lose more than half their viewers, with the Fever's ratings dropping from 1.8 million to just 847,000 when she's not on court. A stark reminder of the 18.9 million who watched her Iowa title game. These numbers prove she isn't just another player. She is the engine of the WNBA's ratings, sponsorships, and attention. Yet, instead of protecting their biggest draw, some players target her, while Clark lets her calm presence and performances answer back louder than any statistic.
It was definitely awkward what Kelsey Plum said. I'm going to give her the benefit of the doubt, and that she was attempting to have some trash talk there. She had taken a shot at Team Caitlin Clark and how much better Team Collier was earlier in the game. and not associate that directly with Caitlin Clark. One, because of, the delivery and the awkwardness involved there, and her saying she's trying to lighten the mood. So I think that's what that was supposed to be, but it was completely unnecessary, didn't need to be said, and certainly putting it out there publicly doesn't.
While the press conference drama raged, Caitlin Clark stayed silent until a few days later, when Kelsey Plum posted all-star photos on Instagram, including one of herself posing in front of a huge Nike logo despite being signed with Under Armour. Clark seized the moment with a 6-word comment: "Thank you for the Nike ad," a playful but devastatingly sharp response that flipped the script, exposed Plum's slip-up, and showed Clark's ability to handle conflict with quiet intelligence rather than noise.
The people who don't believe in the CC effect, my precious CC, y'all ticket sales went from $262 to $121 to $64 to get in at the door. That is horrible. It decreased by 48%. You hear me? That is wild. So for all the ones who be hating on my precious CC, understand the Caitlin Clark effect is real. The CC effect is real. My precious CC is real. You hear me? Y'all need to put some respect on her name. That's wild, huh? We only wanted to see my precious CC, not nobody else, as the temptation.
The All-Star drama wasn't an isolated slip. It exposed a growing jealousy within parts of the WNBA toward Caitlin Clark. Since her draft, she's faced dangerous on-court cheap shots like Kennedy Carter's blindside hit and constant off-court digs from veterans who claim she gets special treatment. The irony is that these same players, while demanding better pay and benefits, attack the one star whose popularity and impact are driving the league's revenue growth. In trying to tear her down, they risk sabotaging the very future they're fighting for.
Kelsey Plum did reply to this. No, she didn't. Kelsey Plum did not reply. So CC definitely fired back, man. So, a lot of posts is coming from this weekend. This is another post. So here you go, Kelsey Mitchell. Kelsey Plum. So Kelsey Plum let it be known she's with Under Armour. Thank you to my Under Armour team for making Plumberry come to life. That is funny, bro. That is funny.
This controversy highlights a deeper divide in the WNBA, embodied by Sabrina Ionescu and Kelsey Plum. Ionescu, a superstar in her own right, understands that Clark's success lifts the entire league, while Plum's comments reflect a defensive, old-guard mindset threatened by change. One side sees opportunity in growth, the other clings to pride even as it risks shrinking the game. The sharp exchange between them wasn't just about words. It was a battle for the league's future. With Caitlin Clark drawing unprecedented attention and revenue, the choice is clear: embrace her impact and rise with it, or be left behind by the very tide of progress she's creating.